Hello, I hope that you are having a wonderful day today. I thought we would do another Homemakers Chats video. The last one was really fun. I really enjoyed hearing all of your recipes and your tips helping me out. This is from another video, but anytime I do auction hauls and share a lot of like the old primitive things, I laugh so hard at the comments because like those one garden snips, and I first saw my friend Lauren's comment that they're sheep shears, and then several of you guys also said, I think those are for shearing sheep. And I was laughing so hard because I was like, huh, that makes a lot of sense. That looks like sheep shears and they're huge. But I will say the auction place had it labeled as garden snips. So we'll see. I actually haven't tried to see how well they work in the garden. Maybe I should do that today. I also want to say thank you to everyone who has liked, or to those of you who have commented on our last video. That was probably the most uncomfortable video to actually turn public. We had it uploaded for a few days before we actually published it. I was feeling kind of nervous about publishing it. It's the video on SMV, dating, college, and teen marriage, and basically our encouragement for young marriage and having children young. I think I was a little bit nervous sharing about it because it's a hard topic for those of us who are past that age, and I never want to make people feel more hurt than they could already be feeling. So I feel like it's a really sensitive topic, because how do you talk about something for the youth that you hope will encourage them while also trying not to hurt people that hasn't been their story. So thank you to everyone who has commented on that video. It's been very encouraging, and to all the messages that I've received. I've received a lot of messages from it as well. So really appreciate that. Okay, first today I want to share that we have our first ever actual honey harvest. So we got 3 pints of mason jars of honey from our bees. We harvested 1 frame. It was completely capped full of honey on both sides, and since we had been sick, we hadn't checked our bees, like opened them up and looked at them for probably almost a month. So when we opened them, they were so full, and the 1 frame was ready to go. We think it's clover honey. If you haven't seen any of our bee journey, we got bees last year from a local beekeeper. Praise God for our local beekeeper. He really made us not afraid of bees, because we did have a little bit of a fear of bees. And so I think him coming in, helping set us up, was super helpful. We probably would have never got started if it wasn't for him coming out and helping us. However, he does things the very mainstream beekeeping route, and so we did a lot of those mainstream beekeeping techniques last year. We didn't harvest any honey last year. The only honey we got last year was from when we were like getting rid of burr comb between the 2 boxes, the comb that they do in the middle. When we pulled the box off, the comb obviously breaks and the honey pours out. So that was the only honey we got from our bees last year, which was like a lick. And this year we've gotten 1 mason jar before this, and that was from cleaning out frames that's a long story, but we had to clean out frames. So we got about this much honey earlier this year, and then this was our first actual getting honey off of the frame. But this year, I think the reason we have had so much more success with our bees is because we caught a wild swarm. So at the beginning of the spring, we put our beehives up on, I think I showed it in our garden video, but we put them up on our jungle gym, sprayed Bee Commander in it, which is like a lemongrass spray. And then we ended up catching a wild hive. And because those bees are native to our area, we feel they made it through the winter and they're thriving in our boxes. They have grown so well. We haven't bothered with trying to split them. Well, we did bother with trying to split them. Our split, it didn't work out, so we just kept them all together, and we're really grateful that we have, because we have a very strong hive. And We also, something we're not doing this year, which we did last year. Last year, our beekeeper encouraged us to feed our bees sugar. So we did do that last year, like a sugar syrup. And this year, after listening to Dr. Leo and his beekeeping ways, we've decided not to do the sugar syrup route and allow these native bees to feed themselves. And they should be able to do that because they're native to this area. I think our bees last year were from the south, which is why they struggled with the winter, and we needed to feed them sugar syrup. And so we haven't fed these bees sugar syrup at all, and they have done amazing. Even in the dips of the lower, like during the in-between phases of the high season and the low season, they've done really well. So that's been really encouraging. We're really trying to do things just the natural way. And I understand why beekeepers that are doing stuff for money, they feel like they need to do all of the techniques and stuff. We're doing this for ourselves and for our family to try to get honey for us. So this has been really exciting. So that was a lot of fun. I canned salsa for the first time ever this week. My first big tomato harvest. I decided to do salsa because we also have our onions, and we have jalapeno peppers, and I can't remember what else. And so I got 6 jars of salsa, which I am so excited about. I followed the recipe. I have the Ball canning book, so I followed the home style, I think it's called the home style salsa. Maybe it's not home style, I can't remember. But I followed the recipe out of that book. It's basically like your basic staple recipe, and it's delicious. I'm very excited for that. Also, I have a question for those of you who have or get raw milk. So twice now I have tried to make our own butter with the raw milk, and the first time we did this, like, we'd separated the milk because we do have a cream line on our raw milk gallons. It's an obvious cream line, so we definitely have cream on top. So the last time we saw this technique on YouTube where someone like stuck a knife at the bottom of the gallon, drained out all the milk until the cream line came down to the bottom, and then they poured the cream into a separate jar, and that's how they separated their milk and cream. This time, and that was a little bit harder and that was a little bit challenging. Trying to stab a knife into the bottom of the gallon wasn't as easy as one would think.
Got a new knife. I'm like shaking. She made this look way easier than I'm making it look. Okay, I'm gonna have you do it.
Hey guys, round 2.
Okay.
Alrighty, here we go. Hope I didn't shake the cream up too much. Okay, and then
Yes, that's good.
you release the vacuum at the top. Right, you have to watch the cream line because I can't see it.
Okay, I can see it.
It's going really
Hers went
slow.
much faster.
We're gonna need some professional help.
Here, go back in the hole and do it bigger. Just don't shake it too much.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Do you want me to help you hold it?
Whoa, folks. Okay, we're just gonna do a slow pour.
Yeah. And it ended up kind of making a mess. So this time around with our raw milk, we decided that we would put it into a water dispenser thing that we have and let the milk drain out and then separate the cream that way. And last time I separated the cream, and the cream was still cold, and I tried making butter out of it, and it never whipped. So this time with the cream, I read something that said you need to let the cream sit out at room temperature for a little while. So I let it sit out for about 2 hours, and then I have my stand mixer, and I started making butter. And I have made butter once before. When we were a part of our milk share, I got raw cream from them and made butter. So I know the stand mixer works with making butter. But this cream, it literally was, I started at 6:30 and it was still working at 9:30. Trying to get this thing to turn. It was like turned into this very thick cream, but the butter never separated. I don't know. I was having all kinds of problems with it. It was very frustrating. So if you have a tip for how to get the cream from raw milk to turn into butter? Am I doing something wrong, or are the Amish taking the best cream out? Like, there is a cream line, which makes me think the cream is obviously still there, but is there like a more richer cream that maybe the Amish haven't included into my milk? I don't know. I have struggled with this, but the yogurt making did work. We made more yogurt. I followed Jill Winger's recipe like to a T. I do her cooler box method, where you basically make the yogurt in mason jars and then you put it in a cooler box, and that has worked really well for us. I've done that twice. Both times it's worked great. So praise God. But the butter has not worked out. So I am nearly giving up because I don't want to waste the cream. Like the last time it turned into this very thick, like not butter, but like, I don't know, it wasn't good. So that was kind of disappointing, but I would love any of your tips if you are someone who knows how to do this or has any advice. So I ended up having to cut this video short because our neighbors were getting their tree trimmed and it was so loud that you could hear it in the video. So, but that was pretty much it. Just wanted to share with you some of the updates, and if you have any help with the raw milk, that would be amazing. Yeah, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for all of your feedback and just your encouragement. God bless.